Hi, Sandra Wilson here, clinical hypnotherapist. Today's question is, how can I stop punishing my partner when I sense that I'm being rejected? But it involved a couple, and the couple were very, they were very close, very healthy, close relationship. But what one of them noticed was that whenever one of them wanted to go and do something without the other, so in this instance it was going away on a trip with friends, the person would just almost punish them by pulling away and withdrawing their love. So maybe giving them a bit of the cold shoulder, not being quite as affectionate, engaging less, being, not showing as much interest in them. And even though they were aware they were doing this, and they really didn't want to be doing this, that's the important thing. They didn't want to be doing this at all. They couldn't help it. It was so powerful. And it was almost as though they'd been taken over by some strange entity. And they knew, on one hand, that it was very healthy for the relationship, that they should have different interests. They're not necessarily going to be forever joined at the hip. And all relationships need space, right? If you're in a long-term relationship, then of course you'll probably understand that having your own interests, your own friends, your own room to breathe is no bad thing. And this person knew this. They didn't want to be controlling. They didn't want to behave this way toward the partner that was going on the trip. But they just felt incredibly powerless, and the feelings were very strong. They were pulling away, engaging less, and not showing as much love. So what's going on here? What on earth makes us behave like this in our close, loving relationships when we know that they have their blessing, they have our blessing? We want them to have space to have fun and enjoy themselves and do things that they love, right? So on the one hand, you've got the logical part of your mind that knows that this behaviour is making you unhappy, and it's very counterproductive because it's not going to benefit you, it's not going to benefit them. And all they're going to really be noticing is, my goodness, what is going on here? What have I done? Very counterproductive. So that's your logic. But then you have a very different voice. And it's quite a deep, powerful emotion that seems to be saying something very different. Be careful. You might get hurt. Why not protect yourself now before this actually happens? So that part, like I said, very powerful, and it's the result of past emotional conditioning. So if you find yourself reflected in this situation, if you yourself withdraw from your partner, withdraw your love, or you behave in a way that's, I don't know, maybe not particularly helpful when they decide they're going to go and do something else, do something without you, then could it be that you have an old wound that hasn't fully healed? Maybe you have been rejected in the past. Perhaps the pain of that you don't remember, but you can still feel it on some level in your body. And it's impossible to feel a deep level of trust, especially when your significant other decides to go off and do their own thing. Okay, so it's almost like a panicky feeling. And we know on another level, again, the logic, that we need to have these freedoms in our relationships, whether we're rejection sensitive or not. We need to have these little freedoms that deepen our love and connection. Like I said before, long-term relationships need space we do need to have a sense of being our own person, even if we are with somebody. And if the partner who is on the receiving end of this withdrawal senses any resistance, it could be potentially damaging to the relationship and could come off as potentially controlling. So it is a huge paradox. The more you cling onto that person, the more they are going to feel like pulling away. And the more you release and let them do their thing freely with love and trust, because you know that they're going to come back, then they will be more likely to want to come back to you, because they know that you can set them free for that space they need. It's such a paradox. But I hope that's helped, and I'll be back with more content tomorrow. Bye for now.